I'm going to show you how to create a portrait like this in a few simple steps that anyone can reproduce today. It's that easy. Let's get to it. I'm going to give you every single detail you need to do this. I mean down to distances, angles, exposures, light settings, the whole works. At the end of this, you should have absolutely no trouble completely duplicating what I'm showing you. Seriously, you should be able to absolutely duplicate what I'm doing. It's that defined, it's that easy. What I'm actually going to be showing you today is what's called a one-light portrait. There's a lot of different ways to do that. I'm going to use a single flash setup. Flash is easy. Don't run away. I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to get a great portrait. Even if it's your very first portrait, I can guarantee you will get a beautiful image using this technique. The reason I've chosen this type of portrait to start is because it lets you start at the absolute beginning. Eliminate all variables, all questionable, challenging things that you might have to do with your exposure. Basically, you're going to be exposing into the camera a dark room. The only light you will have to worry about is that one flash, right? You don't have to worry about ambient, mixing, color temperature, none of it. One flash to set, one exposure to get, and then you have a great portrait. The one thing I do recommend that many photographers don't talk about, and a lot of people are a little leery about, is metering the flash. It's really the easiest and best way to go. I know it's another piece of equipment. I understand the cost of things like this. Painfully, I do. But for the repeatability that that meter will buy you, you can't, it makes life just incredibly easier. I showed this process in an earlier video. I'll link to it, how to meter for flash. We'll just do a quick cover of it here, but if you want more details, refer back to that video. Okay, here's a quick recap on how to meter for flash. At the subject, you're going to place your light meter, dome out, center between light and dark on the subject, click to meter, trigger your flash, and your flash will register the exposure you should be using. Your flash must be in its trigger mode. You may have to refer to the manual to find that out. Okay, we're going to be using a setup I've also shown in another video. That is the Evolve 200 flash. It's a small flash, not much bigger than a speed light. It's the flash I recommend for beginners. It's the flash I use for myself on many jobs because of its versatility, power, and economy. We're just going to be doing it in a simple umbrella. Again, this is for your first portrait. I'm structuring this as if you've never done anything like this before. I'm keeping things as absolutely simple, economical, and basic as I can. So as you can see the setup, we have the flash in the umbrella. We have Sky, our model, seated, and we have a white reflector. Now, don't let the white reflector throw you. Yes, it's a photographic reflector that I use in studio work, but it's just a piece of white reflective material. It could be anything, could be foam core. In fact, it could be a wall if you just move the whole set over sideways towards a wall. A nice white wall would do the same job. I've already decided what exposure I'm going to use. I'm going to be shooting f8 at 1/125th of a second at ISO 250. So why didn't I include the process of metering? Good question, with a very embarrassing answer. I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. I am shooting f8 because that lets me know that the model will be completely sharp in focus, front to back, right? I have her, as you can see, very close to the backdrop, and the backdrop is very undefined, so I'm not worried about trying to blur the backdrop. That's kind of taken care of in our set design. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you arrange the furniture the way I have it here, if you arrange the strobe at this distance, at these angles, 45 to the side, 45 up, at the same power, at the same exposure, you don't have to meter a darn thing if you're using the same flash. It's just going to work. I'm going to tell you that right now. Life throws some variables at you, so I really, really want you to have that meter. Also, it doesn't look really great when you go click, 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 chimping. Not a fan. Looks kind of crazy. We all have to look at the back of that camera because it's like a magnet that draws us in, but try to do it a little less. And man, just get your settings. Have the confidence to know that that exposure on this meter is telling you exactly what you need to know, and you shoot with confidence. Okay, let's go through the process. Don't blink now, it's going to be over quick. The first thing you want to do is make sure that the room you're working in, the exposure you're working at, if you click it without the flash, that you get a black frame on your camera. I'm going to show that process here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Without the flash. Make sure we get black frame, it should be. Yep, black frame, perfect, okay. So we know it's all flash doing this. Okay, notice also, in the location where I'm working, I have this big giant light for video there, and the frame is still black. It's all about what the camera sees at the exposure settings you have, right? Your eyes, the other camera filming video, it's a different world. What's going into your camera for this portrait is all that matters. Make sure that it's baseline black, and then you'll have a true one light portrait with one flash. Okay. Here you go. I'm going to give you the cheat sheet now. I'm going to give you the diagram with all of the distances, angles, positions, everything you need. I'm going to fill it with numbers. That's the answers to your test. I want you to succeed. I want to show you how easy this is. When I hear and see photographers cringing at flash, let me help. And trust me, I really know how good it's going to feel when you do this and you go, wow, that looks great. Okay, guys, here we go. Everything's set up. I'm going to run a quick little B-roll here of the session as I shot it. Again, don't blink. It goes by really quick. Once you're set up this way, once you know what you're shooting, once you have that visualization of exactly what you're trying to do, man, you're just bringing all the variables into that point, click, 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 and you've got it. Check it out. Is leaving the chair where it is, turn slightly in the chair this way. Yep, see what's happening with your knees? That looks good. And put your hand on the edge of the chair. Don't do that double elbow thing. It just makes me crazy. I can't help it. Okay, let me see. Look at me. All right, good. Bring your free hand across your lap. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and turn your head. Yes, nice. Very good. Okay, now same on this side of the camera. Face to my hand, but tilt the top of your head this way a little bit. Keep your face turned this way a little bit more. There we go. That's it. Good. Very nice. Even a little bit more.
More.
I know it feels funny. It's gonna feel totally funny, but when your face is over here and your eye is turned into the lens, it's really nice. Yes, that's really nice. Okay, more neutral. Yeah, turn. Yep, turn. Yeah, I know it feels funny. Good, nice. Okay, now look square into the lens.
You want my head to move?
Yes. Yes, I want you. Yes, definitely move your head square into the lens. Good. Okay, I'm going to show a few images that we got from the session. I'm going to let them roll by here for a second, but I've given you a point and shoot cheat sheet diagram. I've given you, if you're old enough to remember this, Arthur Murray, put your foot here, do this, do this, do this. You can't mess it up if you have everything in place. I know it. I know you can do it. But what I want you to do after you've gotten it to duplicate what I've done, I want you to go mess it up. I want you to change it. I want you to mold it and shape it and find out for yourself and get it in your bones what's going on here, and realize that flash is nothing to be intimidated by. It can be your best friend. It's just light. As one of my favorite sayings is, all photons are natural. I don't care if they come from the sun or a bulb. They're photons. They're all natural. Okay, I hope you see now that it really is that easy. Go do it. Try it for yourself. And until next time, cheers. Let me bring this in a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. Let's bring that in closer. Okay, so another great photographer story. If you saw the first part of this video or the last video where I describe metering flash, you probably noticed that this isn't the meter I used. And you'd be right. It's not the meter I used. Between the time I set up for this video to photograph Sky as a model and the time I actually did it, I went on a session on location. And I didn't come back with my light meter. I'd only had it 12 years. I don't know why it hadn't happened before, but there you go. Everybody makes mistakes. That one was a rather expensive mistake. I couldn't even wait overnight to have Amazon bring me another one, or B&H or whoever. I had to go to the local camera shop and get one. It's a great meter. I could talk about it if you guys are interested in a future video. I'll link to it. Basically, since I had to buy a new one, I upgraded a little bit. It's a great meter. I'm going to tell you, it does more functions. But boy, I still miss my other one. There you go. You got me.